things they say about Dad, so I'm hoping that I can make it through without falling. But Dad and I had a really special relationship, as I think most of you guys know. He was quite literally always there for me, from growing up in the cabin to when we lived in Moscow here, and Mom worked full time, so Dad was the one who was there when I got home from school. I remember running downstairs to his office and sitting on his lap and telling him all about my day. He was just always the one that helped me with my homework and, took me places, taught me everything, showed me things. Just always there for me. And then when we lived in Florida, we talked often. I would call Dad and Mom a few times a week. They would call me when I missed him if I didn't talk to him often. You're going to hold that for me? He was the officiant at our wedding, which was very special, almost 10 years ago. I just appreciate him immensely, and I understand, I know that not everyone is lucky enough to have a dad like I do and to have a relationship like we had together. He taught me so much, and he was really good at giving advice, whether I wanted it or not. One of the things that struck me when I was thinking of what to say is how Dad really taught me to just live my life, like live it. Not just go through the motions, but like when I went to college and everyone else's parents are saying, work hard, you have to get the best grades, and he said, study, but don't forget to have fun while you're there and go to parties and meet people. It's a social event too, and so I always appreciated that. He encouraged me to go to Ecuador for a year, which now as a parent I can think, how hard is it to say to your only daughter, go to a foreign country for a year, but he wanted me to really live and experience everything. Dad was always a reminder that life isn't fair. He didn't, he got dealt some kind of hard hands in his life, and he just never, ever complained about it. And I always appreciate that and learned so much from him about how to look at life and just be positive always. Big thing for him was teaching me to be a confident woman. He taught me to speak. He always said, stand up straight, which is good. I appreciate it now. I didn't then. To stand up straight and to stand up for what I believed in and just stand up for who I am and be proud of myself and love myself first. And he always had really good advice. Before Dad died, we were talking about what he wanted from a memorial, or as a memorial, and we talked about the 1912 Center and having Carl be the MC and helping. And he looked me right in the eyes and he said, "You can talk, you can do it." I know many of you have gotten that look from Dad. So here I am, trying to summarize in a few paragraphs how much my amazing dad meant to me. Of course I can't. There's no way. But I'm just thankful that I had the best dad in the world. And as much as I wish he was still here with us, it is comforting to know that, to remember that his legacy really is living on through us, Mom and me, and through the kids. He had a really rich life, and I'm just thankful and proud that he was my dad. Thank you guys all for coming and for being part of Dad's life.
Well, when I remember my grandpa, I remember doing lots of fun art projects with him, like making animals out of corks and making books. And I really miss him. And that's something I want to say. Thank you for listening.
Hey, I'm Patrick, I'm Will's husband. First of all, I'm using scrap paper because it's recyclable. You know, that's how Bill wants me to use the stuff, you know. We don't waste, we don't want, you know. So, today I remember Bill London, okay? He's from Moscow, Idaho. I mean, a small city, a small village, okay? But yet, amongst us, there was living a giant. He was a great, great man. He was so amazing. I can't even describe. A, because I speak English. B, you know, he was so amazing in terms of his wisdom. Bill London wasn't a rich guy. He didn't have a mansion, a big boat, a private jet, but yet he was the wealthiest guy I ever met. He had a wealth of wisdom, knowledge, and the respect of this community right here made him one of the wealthiest guys, certainly richer than any Bill Gates or, you know, Warren Buffett I know, you know. He was an amazing guy. And when he says, want not, waste not, that really changed my world, because this planet is only here we only borrow it from our kids, so please just be gentle to our planet. Also, to become super rich, you can't have any more needs. So he was wise beyond his age. Every single person I ever talked to, he said, you know what, Bill London, he was wise beyond his age. He's amazing. So, we know that we only borrow this planet from our kids, so be gentle to it and waste not and want not. I played football, which is a pretty violent game all my life. It's a violent game played by violent men, but yet I never ever met somebody tougher than Bill London. He's fighting the crippling disease for 30 years, and I never ever heard him complain once. So I think he wants me to say right now, just enjoy life, you know? Don't look back yesterday and regrets. Don't get stressed out about tomorrow's bills. Just enjoy this very moment. And thank you all for being here tonight. Okay, thank you guys.
So, good afternoon, everyone. It is so awesome to be here with all of you. When Willow asked me to, and I have to read because if I don't, I'm going to cry. When Willow asked me to say some words at today's celebration of Bill London's life, I was really honored. And I spent quite some time trying to sort out all the wonderful memories. Which ones of them could I share in 3 minutes? I've known Bill and Gina for over 40 years, and my friendship with both of you has so enriched my life. Bill London, we remember as a tall, handsome man with a remarkable beard and a distinctive rolling gait who walked around Moscow and stuck his nose into our business. Now, this could be a blessing or a curse, depending on what you were up to, when he turned his loving laser beam of interest in your direction. He was an interesting and an interested person. He wanted to know what was going on, and he usually figured out a way to find out what he wanted to know. Bill had a very uncanny and exquisite way of finding out about people, connecting the local dots, and linking people together. He engaged in many varieties of matchmaking, introducing people who would become life partners and then marrying them. I met my husband 27 years ago in Bill and Gina's kitchen. They invited me to come visit Moscow. It is such a groovy place. And they also just happened to invite Sam Obermeyer to be there at the same time, along with his daughter Anna Willow, and thus began the first of many enchanted evenings in Moscow. Bill London was our minister a few years later when Sam and I decided to tie the knot. And I'm just curious, how many of you in this room were married by Bill? He could find the perfect mate, which he found in Gina. He found the right mayoral candidate. And he could smell a liar a mile away. How did he do it? As a friend, Bill was so very interested in what I was doing, where I was headed in my life, what decisions I was making, not to be nosy, but rather to ensure that I was making decisions that would be worthy of my own life commitments. And Bill was all about commitment. Commitment first and foremost to his wife Gina, his daughter Willow. He remained committed to his friends, his values, and his community. He served on so many boards and committees. Bill was a loyal and interested friend, and he could zero in on what maintained our integrity as a person, as a people, as a community. If he focused his attention onto you, you became capable of what you thought you might be capable of. His attention and encouragement were infectious. And how many times do you remember him saying, "You've got to do it. You've got to do it, man." Mr. London enjoyed a tendency toward what might appear to some as a singularity of purpose. But when he beamed in on some issue, some problem, he worked it with a unique, magnanimous sense of purpose, which meant his scope included the whole picture. He made himself available to us as a mentor, a confidant, and a co-conspirator at times. And certainly a friend, to support the larger vision to achieve wholeness in ourselves and our community. He showed us how to be a person willing to take a stand for what he believed in and what he knew we believed in. And he gave us so much to believe in. Bill was a problem solver and a very wise leader. He loved the Palouse and the magic of this glorious land. He published guides to the Inland Empire and shared enchanting Palouse getaways to share his love of the land with all of us. He loved the people who came to dwell here, and he helped to create our rich and vibrant community. He remained steadfast and loyal to his love for this community, even when he could no longer walk or breathe unassisted. Bill London, my dear friend, our beautiful, beloved friend, thank you so much for all you have given us. Your memory is always in our hearts.